daily webinar series 2. Today we are completing 312th day of the series, and the keynote speaker is on dais for today's session, Honorable Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am. So first of all, I welcome to you, madam. I welcome the chief organizer, the ideal principal of Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa. Also welcome the faculty members of my college and all those dear participants. The topic for today's presentation is biodiversity and its conservation. Now this topic is going to present the keynote speaker from the same college, Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa, Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am. At present, she is serving as an assistant professor at the Department of Botany. So with this brief introduction, now I request to you, madam, please start your presentation on the topic biodiversity and its conservation. You are most welcome.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, one and all. First of all, I would like to thank respected Principal Dr. Betkar MM for giving me this opportunity to present my topic on this virtual dais. So we know that biodiversity is very important at every hierarchical level. Genetic diversity, species diversity, community, and ecosystem diversity. It is being threatened by reduction in space, smaller and fragmented habitats over exploitation by human, climatic changes, pollution, invasion by exotic species, etc. So, however, it is important that present population drive economic, functional, remote, and aesthetic benefits from diversity. Conservation of biodiversity is protection, uplift, and scientific management of biodiversity so as to maintain its optimum level and derive sustainable benefits. So, conservation of biodiversity is nothing but the maintenance and preservation of biodiversity. It is the conservation of different species of plants and animals. The conservation of biodiversity is of two types: in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. So, in situ conservation of species of plants and animals in their natural habitats or man-made ecosystems is called in situ conservation. It is an easy and suitable method for maintenance of many plant and animal species. In this type of conservation, an area is selected and declared to be a protected area, and special measures are taken to conserve the biodiversity. For example, national park, sanctuaries, bioreservoirs, etc. If the ecosystem of area is badly degraded, the threatened species are rehabilitated and maintained properly. So, if an animal species is threatened, it is allowed to breed in a suitable zoo and reintroduced to preserve it in the ecosystem. A national park is a protected area to conserve plants and animals together in a natural habitat. All habitat conditions are preserved as such in the national parks. Importance is given to the habitat of wild animals such as tiger, lion, elephant, etc. Gundi National Park, which is in Tamil Nadu, it is famous for snakes. Gir National Park in Gujarat, it is famous for lions. In India, there were 202 wildlife sanctuaries in 1981, and the number was increased to 416 by the year 1992. So now there are near about 500 wildlife sanctuaries in India. Then we will see what is ex situ conservation. Ex situ conservation is the conservation of genetic resources outside their natural habitats. Plants, animals, and microorganisms, these species are preserved in ex situ conservation systems. In ex situ conservation, genetic resources are maintained in different ways, like zoo for animals, botanical gardens for plants, culture collections for microorganisms, cryobanks for gametes, cells, and tissues, germplasm banks for seeds, semen cells, and ova. First one, we will discuss about botanic gardens, a small protected area in which living plants are grown in ordered blocks is called as botanical garden. Plants collected from the nearby localities and economic plants obtained from away regions are grown in these gardens. Botanical gardens have fern houses, palm houses, cactus houses, orchid, ornamental plants, and nurseries. Indian Botanical Garden, which is at Kolkata, and National Botanical Garden, there is at Lucknow. Then next is Arboreta. It is a place where trees are grown either for landscaping or scientific study. Arboreta have been mainly used for scientific research on trees, education, and other benefits. Tree species are conserved by growing them in roadsides, public parks, wastelands, etc. Then third type of ex situ conservation is conservatory. The conservatory is a medium-sized greenhouse used in tropical countries to conserve the plants. This greenhouse has no glass wall, no roof at all. Conservatory provides enough shade to the plants and also protect them from hot sunlight as well as cold breezes. They are usually established in hill stations of tropical countries. Then fourth number of ex situ conservation is germplasm bank. The preservation of genetic stocks in a frozen state for a long time is called germplasm storage. So in this type, a collection of genetic stocks preserved in vitro in tissue culture laboratories is called germplasm bank. In the International Rice Research Institute, that is IRRI, germplasms of various rice varieties have been preserved by using cryopreservation. Then fifth one is vegetable gene bank. So we can conserve the genes of vegetables also. The storage of vegetable seeds at sub-zero temperature gives vegetable gene banks, that is seed collection. It is concluded that there is no loss of viability when the seeds are stored at 20 degrees centigrade for 1 to 3 years also. The seeds to be preserved are soaked in an electrolyte solution for some time, dried, and preserved in polythene bags at 20 degrees centigrade in freezers. Sixth one is plant cell bank, a collection of different cell types preserved in vitro at 196 degrees centigrade is called plant cell bank or cell cryobank. Cells are preserved by using tissue culture technique. Then conservation of wildlife, a proper management of wildlife, a sound knowledge of the ecology of wild animals is essential. Appointment of officials, there is also required. Restriction of hunting, it is also very important for conservation of biodiversity. Habitat should be very improved, and there should be disease control, and there should be work of educated public. Thank you. Thank you to all.
Thank you so much, madam, for your wonderful presentation. Now, participants are requested, if you would like to share something or ask any question, please come ahead. Dear participants. Ma'am have explained the topic very clearly, so there is no doubt. Now I request the chief organizer of the series, our ideal principal M. Betkar sir, for concluding words. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I move towards the vote of thanks. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa, District Latur, is organized a World Record Series 2. Today we have completed 312th day of the long series, and the resource person for today's presentation was from the Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya top diversity and its conservation. Ma'am have explained and also highlighted all those details very clearly in a simple language. What are the genetic diversities, basic diversities, then conservation of biodiversities, also enlighten upon the maintenance and the preservation of biodiversity, then giving different examples on the topic. So I'm very, very thankful to you, madam, on behalf of the organizing committee members. Also thanks the chief organizer, our ideal principal, M. Betkar sir, faculty members of my college, Dr. K.N. Kadam sir, Dr. those who are so your support to the series. So thank you so much. Now request to you all, please fill the feedback link which is given in the chat box. With the kind permission of the chief organizer, I declare today's session is over. But doesn't matter, don't take it serious that our series have finished earlier. So we have just filled the gap. So sorry for the convenience. And thanks to you all. Bye bye. Good night. Take care.